Hey guys, welcome back. This is History of Futurama, Season 1, Episode 6 of my show, but this is about Episode 5 of Season 1 of Season 1. But before I start talking about it, since this is about Episode 5, that means we've got about 4 more videos left for Season 1, because there's 9 episodes total in Season 1, so I'm on Episode 5, so there's 9, and there's 9 episodes, so 4 more videos left. I'll put that in the description for this video. And one other thing, as you can see, I'm wearing new glasses and stuff, because I went to the eye doctor and often a while back, so I had to wait for it. But I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get off topic there. But like I said, since we're on episode 5, that means we got 5, 6, 7, 8. 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 4 more videos left. We got about 4 more videos left until I finish Season 1, so I'll put that in the description of the video. But anyway, getting into the actual storyline of the episode. This is History of Futurama, Season 1, Episode 6 of my show, but this is about Episode 5, and Episode 5 is known as Fear of a Bot Planet. Now, basically, the way this episode starts off is basically Fry, Leela, and Bender are at it, and the other members of the Planet Express crew are at a Blurns ball game. Now, I'll just explain what Blurns ball is in this series. It's like baseball in the series, except the ball is on a string, and when it's thrown, it's comes right back to the person that catches it and stuff. And apparently blurn is a common term for it in normal English stuff, like the loading the bases and stuff is a bunch of gibberish. I don't know, but anyway, I think when they created the series, they wanted to poke fun at that, but still, it's funny regardless. Basically what happens is, when Fry goes to the stadium to watch the game, he thinks he's going to a baseball game, but then the others explain to him that it's not a baseball game, because the leader explains to him that baseball was as dull as was like apple pie and stuff like that, so they spiced it up, which is basically what they did for Blurns ball. Was they basically put the ball on like the string, and the only way you can get like a home run or like a blurn is by knocking the ball off the string and either into a target thing or into a multi-ball thing, which is kind of awkward. And then after one of the Blurns ball players in the game hits a blurn, Milo records that and says that player is on it to hit 50 blurns, and then basically then Farnsworth tells them that player that Lilo was watching was good, but he's no Clem Johnson. And then when Bender hears that, he's like, Clem Johnson? Second wouldn't have lasted one pitch in the old robot league. And he's like, now Wireless Joe Jackson, there was a blurn hitting machine. And then after he said the blurn hitting machine part, Leela correctifies him about that. Like, she's like, exactly. He was a machine designed to hit blurs, which basically means that he was a machine that was designed specifically only to hit blurs. Like, in this case, it's basically home runs. And then basically, Bender gets upset about that, and then he said that that the humans are so scared of a little robot competition that they won't even let them on the field. And then basically, Fry wonders what he means by that, because he says that there are robots in the field, and when Bender hears that, he says about how they're doing humanoid work, like baseball catchers, pitching machines, and stuff like that. But how many robot managers are there? And then Fry makes an inquiry about that. Like, I think Bender kind of asked a rhetorical question, because he said that 0, and then he throws this beer bottle on the floor, and then this little mini robot comes out to sweep up the shattered beer bottle. Oh my god, and then he's like, and then he gets even more upset with it. He's like, oh, and look who it is. Is it a human child? I don't think so. And then basically he kicks the little robot that was cleaning up his shattered beer bottle on the ground. And then basically, what happens is that's when, Farnsworth starts acting weird, like he's in pain, but it's not because he has a heart attack or anything, or because he's old. It's because he said that it's because of his new pager, which in this case in the series, pagers are basically, they are things that, in this case of the series, the pagers are holographic pagers, meaning that the person that they talk to on the pager doesn't actually send them a coded message, but they talk to them face to face. And basically, Hermes tells them in the pager that a package has just arrived and that everyone needs to go back to the Planet Express building so that they can deliver it. And then the others are sort of upset that they have to get back to work, but is because they have to leave the Blues ball game because of that. But they're finding it okay, and then before they start to leave, what happens is a bird shows up where Hermes is on the holographic pager, and then he's telling the bird to like chew and go away, and he's telling the professor to turn him off. Now, the reason why he's telling him to turn him off is because I'm guessing because basically what happens is, it is a hologram, but it's a real-life hologram thing. Like, it's an image projected of the person talking. So, in a sense, if the real person gets taken by the bird while the machine's on, if the hologram gets taken by the bird when the machine's on, their real-life self is affected, which... Now, the reason why I'm saying that is because basically what happens in the next scene, after Hermes gets taken away by the bird and they all go back to the office for that, he's like, see you at the office! And then in the next scene, when they get the package that needs to be delivered, he has all these bandages on him, which I think is because of the bird and stuff. But that's just my opinion, and that's just also my theory on that part. I'm not trying to question it, it's just... Oh my god, I'm sorry. I felt I had to mention that, since that's the one thing that's always kind of confused me about that part of the episode. Anyway, basically... that's when Professor Farnsworth tells the crew the good news that they are going to deliver a package to Chapek 9, which is basically a robot. Now I'm going to explain what that planet is. It's basically, as it's stated by Professor Farnsworth, it's a robot, it's a planet inhabited entirely by robots that doesn't like humans, and they will kill them on sight. And then when Fry hears that part, he inquires as to why that's good news. And basically, Farnsworth's explanation is that the reason why it's good news is because Chapek 9 was colonized by a bunch of robots who were separatists, basically meaning that they separated from humans, so they don't like humans because of that. Because they separated from them, and that's why they have that rule with it that says that they don't like humans at all. And then that's when Leela inquires about that. She wonders she knows how they feel about humans, but how do they feel about humanoid aliens? Oh my god. Which is kind of funny, because she is technically human, but an alien, or in this case, an alien in this case, or as it's later found out in the series, I'm not going to explain when because I want to save that. But after she asks that, Farnsworth says that they're not fans, and then Hermes said that before I continue, I should just backtrack to the part with Bender. After they got back from the baseball game, he got upset with them about the fact that he tells them to admit it. They just think that robots are tools meant to make humans' lives easier. And then Fry says that, well, aren't they? And then Bender says that he hasn't made any humans' life better, and he knows it. And then that's the only backtracking I'm going to do for that part. Now, the reason why I backtracked is because it's not that I forgot it. It's because because it was just a minor detail. But anyway, now getting back into what I said, as Farnsworth stated, they're not fans of humanoid-based aliens. So basically, that's when Hermes tells them that Bender will, because of that reason, Bender will be the one to make the actual delivery. And then Bender gets a little upset about that. He's like, oh, now I get it. Make the robot do all the work. But then Leela gets sort of a little agitated with him, and she's like, she tells him that this is the first sexual work he's had to do around here. And then he says that he's not doing it because it's a robot holiday. And then they're wondering which one it is this time. And then basically, Bender says that it's Robonica, which is the whole just 2 weeks in the robot calendar. And then basically, Leela inquires about the previous robot holidays that Bender had. Can't really remember. Yeah, no, it's not that I can't remember the name of them. It's one of them I think is called Robon, and the other one was called Robons at that time. And then basically, when Fry hears that, when he's like, man, that was a blast. And then Bender tells him that it wasn't a blast, it was a tribute to his ancestral prototypes, which it just so happened to take the form of a drinking contest. Oh my god, I'm sorry, that's kind of hilarious. And then Hermes tells Bender that he appreciates his diversity to the extent that the law requires, but he used up all his vacation time when he went to go see that fight with tuberculosis. So because of that, that's when Bender decides to deliver the package and stuff, and then he tells them that they hold a grudge against them for so long as he lives because of it. And then they manage to reach Chapek 9, and then basically once they reach Chapek 9, they decide to descend down on there, but Fry and Leela can't because they're humans, and the humans, if there are any humans on Chapek 9 and they appear, they'll get killed by the robots. And then basically what happens is after that Leela sends Bender down on the magnetic lift, and then before she sends him down, he's like, she tells him to remember that he doesn't know humans, he doesn't talk to humans, and he hasn't seen any humans. And he says that he'll try to keep that in mind. So he's still a little agitated when he goes down, and because of that, Ryan and Leela decide to do something special for him to cheer him up, and they basically what happens is after that, they start setting up these decorations for what Bender thinks as Robonica, and then basically Leela says that basically that ought to show Bender how much they care about his beliefs and stuff, and then that's when Bender sends a message through on his thing, and he says, Fry says that Bender must be done with the delivery because of the whole thing with the video call, and then basically he says that he's in trouble. They found out that the robots of Chapek 9 found out that he works with humans, and they started dragging him off, and then Brian and Leela wonder what they can do, and Fry says that they have to go down to the planet to rescue Bender, but then Leela says that they can't. The robots on that planet will kill them on sight, and basically Fry's wondering what they'll do, and then basically, that actually leads into the funny part with this episode, because basically Leela says that it's too difficult for her to think of right now. If only she had 10 or 30 minutes to think about it. Now, the reason why I find that part funny is because that scene made sense. That part of the scene made sense when it was on TV, but I watched it on Disney Plus, so that's what makes it funny, is because back when it was on TV, what happened was TV shows always had a commercial break and stuff. So, of course, they'd have like 10, 20 minutes to think. But in this case, since I watched it on Disney Plus, it went straight into it. That's what I find funny about that situation. I'm sorry. That's just so funny. Anyway, they get dressed up in these makeshift robot costumes, and then they go down to the planet to try to rescue Bender, and then basically what happens is, is they use the delivery hook to lower themselves onto the planet, and then they encounter the guards at the planet, and then basically one of the guard robots is saying that be they robots or humans, and then Leela says robots they be, and then the other one tells the first one to administer what is, and I quote, the test, which basically the test is basically just a question about certain things. of three certain things: a floppy disk, a puppy, or a flower. Which would they prefer? And then when they inquire about the puppy, is it the good kind of puppy, like a robot puppy thing? But the other one says no, it's a bad kind of puppy. So they decide to go with the floppy disk, and then they said that the answer is correct, then they pass, and then the other one says that the flower would have also been acceptable. And then they go into the city part of the planet, and then they end up going to this movie theater. Well, they end up going to this movie theater and watching this cheesy movie about it's called Fear of a Bot Planet. Well, that's actually the name of the episode, but the movie that they're watching is a robot movie that has a human in it that's basically just a human and a robot in a human mask and stuff. And then after that, what happens is, well, funny thing is about that, gonna backtrack here for a second with Fry. While he and Leela are walking, Fry has to use the bathroom, but they can't use the bathroom to eat anywhere, so there isn't any bathrooms in the city that he can use at the moment, so he decides to. So Leela tells him to basically take a leak by that tree, and then she'll cover him in case any robots get curious, and then he goes to take the leak, and then basically, what happens is, one of the robots that's there sees him, and then he's like asking him that he's leaking coolant at an alarming rate. And he wonders if he should give him a blast of hot resin. And basically, Fry says that he doesn't need to because it'll just work. And then, no, and then it does stop. And then the robot's wondering what kind of robot would give up of searing hot resin. And that's when they figure out that they're humans. And then And then they start chasing after them, and then that's when they end up in the movie theater, and then Fry, Leela, and Bender hide out in the movie theater watching the movie, and then after the general and then after the movie's over, they leave, and then one of the robots is asking, what do they think of the movie? Too much drama, not enough human killing, and then one of the other robots says that it was a real chick, and then this alarm basically goes off, and then one of them's wondering what that, I can't remember, I think it's Leela, she's wondering what that noise is, and basically one of the robots is wondering what she means by that. It's time for the annual human hunt, and then basically the robots gather at the center of town with the mayor, and before they conduct the inaugural human hunt for the day, one of the robots is saying that he's heard that a human was leaking coolant on to basically taking a leak, which he's referring to Fry. And then basically, and one of them thinks that they suck out their transmission fluid. And well, actually, what happens is the robot mayor of that town on Chopek 9 says that they have a very special guest joining them tonight for this annual human hunt. who has such a hatred for humans that it makes him look like a human sympathizer. And he says that a newly arrived refugee from Earth, and it's Bender, and then Fry sees him and he's happy that he's okay, and then Bender's like, "Death to humans!" And then he said that it's great to hear his voice. And then basically what happens is, then in the next scene, after they find him, they participate in the human hunt for a little bit, and basically Bender is leading the robots on the lookout for the humans and stuff. And then basically after that, what happens is, then they come up upon this old magazine type building, which is like filled with stuff like robot pornography and stuff. And then basically Bender says that he thinks that could be a breeding ground for humans, so he decides to go check it out. And when he goes in there, he's looking at the pages and stuff, and that's when Brian and Leela show up, and then he's wondering what they're doing there, and they say that they came to rescue him because they thought he got captured, and then he tells them that he was, but they let him go when he mentioned that he killed 1 billion humans and stuff. And then basically Leela and Fry are saying that it's basically good, and they're wondering if they should get back to the ship so that they can get off the planet. And then Bender was wondering why, because he doesn't want to leave the planet because he likes it on Chapek 9, because the robots are scared of humans, but Fry wants Bender to come back with him, but Bender is a little self-centered to the fact that he thinks that because he's a robot, he only needs him on Earth for doing menial tasks that humans don't want to do and stuff. And then basically they decide to leave, and then Bender shoots them along the way. And then basically what happens is, by that point, they get captured, and then they get taken to this trial room with the courthouse. And then basically the prosecutor is saying that these humans are guilty of the crime of being humans, and he's saying that to the judge, which in his case is an old computer. And then basically, what about innocence until proven guilty? And then Leela says that, yeah, I mean, Fry may not have a case, but look, I have only one, technically not human. And then after they're found guilty of being humans, basically what happens is, after that, that's actually a funny thing. While the judge computer is processing that information, his screen freezes. So it's a little bit of a funny thing where they try to reboot him so that he can finish processing the verdict and stuff. And then after that, he says that they are guilty. And then he says that their punishment is to live as robots do on Earth, performing menial tasks until they're thrown away and stuff. And then they get thrown in this underground thing, and then that's when the robot elders are basically there to administer their true punishment, which is killing them. But then Fry mentions that the judge already sentenced them at the trial. But one of the robot elders basically explains that was just a ruse to amuse the public. They are the ones truly responsible for the laws on the planet. And basically, they have Bender come in and use the ceremonial kill-a-majig to kill the human, kill Fry and Leela, and then, and as Bender goes to use the kill-a-majig to kill them, he backs out on it, and he explains that he can't because plenty of robots in the humans have mistreated robots in the series, but not these two. They're his friends, and he tells the robot elders that that humans are no threat to them. They're just scrawny sack of people that are weak and not dangerous at all. And then one of the robot elders says that they're well aware of that, but the thing is they actually use their hatred of humans as a ruse, sort of as a scapegoat to escape the public of its real problem, which is its crippling lug nut shortage. As one of them says, there's a lug nut shortage, and the other one says there's a corrupt government of robot elders. And then basically Bender decides that it's okay for them to leave, but then one of them says that after finding that out, they can't let them leave, and then one of the elders says, "Elders, execute function shift control kill," which basically is killing them, and then basically they run, and then basically what happens is while they run, they manage to get back to the magnetic lift thing that Bender was on, and then that's when Bender realizes that he forgot to deliver the package, and basically the package was lug nuts, and the box crashes on them, and then one of the robots that sees it is like, "Lug nuts, precious lug nuts," and then basically after that they get away in the ship, and the lug nut shortage is solved for the robot planet, so it's okay. And then Bender sees that they put up decorations for Robotica and stuff, and then he's happy about that, but he informs them that, "You do know that I made up Robotica to get out of doing work, right?" And then basically Leela says, "Of course, but as Fry said, that doesn't make it any more special." And then Bender says that in that case, let the dancing begin, and that's basically where this episode stops. So if you guys like this video when I post it, just please give this video the real best you guys can. And I will see you guys next time for the next video. And until then, like I always tell you with this series, fun on a bun.